What's good? What's good? What's good, everyone? Today, I know it take a while for me to adjust this because I've gotten the documents for almost a month now, almost a month, while this situation is going on and stuff. And to be honest, I didn't want to address it, but going through my phone, deleting stuff because my memory is full on my phone. I saw the documents again and I started reading it. And there's an old saying is sometimes if you stay silent on bad rumors that is going about your name, you might as well consider yourself guilty. So I'm coming to address documents that Apollo typed up that is totally not true. And well, that there's some truth and there's not some truth, right? So today we will classify and clarify and rectify everything, right? That is said in this document, whether it's true or whether it's not true, right? I know you guys hear this story over and over, but the dude took this time to type up a document on his version of the story, so we will read it and we will highlight the issues, right? So let's go into it. Let's go into Discord. Discord, right? here's the document. It says Apollo versus Cameron Murray dispute, comprehensive summary and verdict. Based on the extensive screenshot, hang on 1 second, let me magnify this up a bit. Right, based on the extensive screenshot evidence from Discord conversation, YouTube content, Roblox game page, and direct message spamming approximately December 2025 through April 2026, right? That part is correct, where it says from December. So I'm glad that he said himself that it was indeed where December 2025 we met, right? In his game Starship Trek, right? So you guys can see here, Apollo type of this document, as you guys can see here. I was not lying. I did meet Apollo in December. I heard about this game, I went to meet his game, and when I saw he was in the game, I congratulate him. I have screenshots of that. You guys seen those screenshots, right? So here's where it says no background. The dispute took place within the Roblox Star Trek game development community, primarily between the developer Apollo, developer of Starship Trek, and Cameron Murray, developer of Star Nexus, age 26. I don't know why is it so pundant, and this is what I'm saying, right? Everybody's saying, oh, Apollo don't have malicious intent, right? And I'm constantly showing them over and over where he does, because you found it important to left out your age, but you're insistent on putting my age, right? And even further in this document, you'll see them even make an attempt to give out my location, which they are terribly wrong, very wrong, probably the right country, but not the right location. I will publicly give all of that information very soon as we continue in this document, right? Let's continue. It's begun when Apollo identified that 3D models shipped in Cameron game were not made by Cameron, but by a third-party creator named David Nightrider or Metalist, who described his model on DeviantArt with a clear credit policy. Cameron obtained these models from Sketchfab. Now, again, right there, that information is not true. and a factual, right? And he has no evidence showing that I said that they came from Sketfab, right? That information is not true. I did not get an Enterprise D model from Sketfab. Main reason why is because of issues when importing it into Roblox Studio, right? There's certain characteristics that requires in the model itself to be imported, right? For those who know 3D models, I'm talking about vertices, right? Vertices and triangles, right? When you're in a 3D model, you understand. When you are a 3D modeler, you will understand these things, right? Now, in some way, yes, I did lie to Apollo that the Enterprise D was my model. And in our defense, at the beginning, yes, it was. Now, the Enterprise D model actually is a very, very old model, been in the game for years. There was a previous model actually was made by me that has been seen in Gamerman video. So I don't really pay much attention to that said model, right? As if you guys see videos I made, those videos mostly I am flying is the USS Discovery NCC 1031A, right? Because that has become my favorite ship. I love the spore drive. I love the design and the look of the ship. So that's my constant ship I mostly focus on, right? Every other ship, right? But the thing is, I want everybody to understand this, right? For being developer, right? I met you, right? And this is what Apollo needs to come out to the public and answer, right? I met you, is as the date says, you, not me saying it alone, you said it, right? On December 2025, right? I met you on December 2025. Right, that was before Boxing Day, right? I remember the day precise very well, right? Because that was actually my family keeps a family event for Boxing Day. So I know exactly when I met Apollo, when I was told about his game. And strange enough, the reason why I even know about Apollo game Starship Trek is because someone come and say, well, is there drama between Star Nexus and Starship Trek? And I'm like, no, that's not the reason. And in the previous videos, you guys will see, anytime I show the screenshots of me meeting Apollo for the first time in Starship Trek, I talk about peace. I talk about a good relationship between Star Nexus and Starship Trek, and I'm happy for him creating a Star Trek game on Roblox, right? I never fully explained the reason why. Until this day, he does not know the reason why I did that, or maybe he does. The reason I did that is because players will come into me and say, are there a rift between Starship Trek and Star Nexus? At the time, most of them, we just lost we just lost one Star Trek game, which was Star Trek Exploration, right? Right? We lost one game, Star Trek Exploration, right? Due to Paramount. So that issue never come to my mind that there would have been another Star Trek game. I wasn't aware of it, right? So my focus was just Star Nexus, because Star Nexus avoid, even though it's previous incarnation Star Trek Uncharted Worlds was shut down from Paramount, we learned our lesson when developing Star Nexus, which was we could never ever ever have the name Trek in it. I tried to warn the developer for Star Trek Exploration. He never listened, and Paramount took swift action, right? So I had no idea this game existed until players came to me. Because at the time, Star Nexus was the only Star Trek content based game on Roblox, right? Although we evolved and decided to add more sci-fi franchises to the game, Star Nexus was still carrying Star Trek content, right? But trying our best to stay away from Paramount coming knocking on our doors, right? So when doing so now, right? And we went and we talked to Apollo and these things. But the thing I kind of understand is in a game that has over 60 ships, right? A game that has over 60 ships, why you go and choose one ship alone, one ship out of all the 60 ships, you went and gone for that one ship and make a whole set of drama about it. Furthermore, right, Apollo had his credit to Mr. David, right, hidden in the developer panel, right? He had it hidden in the developer panel. I have screenshots of that as well, right? I'll show that in previous videos as well, right? After I made a big deal about it, I see not coming up publicly and acknowledging David as well as I did, because at the time I never knew, right, that he was asking for credit, which is no problem of mine, because you understand, because I had other modelers who get models to me and I've given them credit. That is not a problem for me to give Mr. David his credit, right? I have went on DeviantArt and messaged Mr. David concerning me acquiring his model, and is he aware, because I asked him some inquiries as well, did Apollo reach out to him about it, about using his model of the Enterprise D, right? But majority of my fan base is already aware that we don't make all these ship models, because I mean the game has over 60 ships, right? And the reason why the game have over 60 ships is because the fans them, they take part in sourcing these models, right? They suggest these ships add to the game. When we can't find ships, they go all the way to get it. When we can't find the right displays for the bridge, they will go out and get it. We see that in an example when it comes to the Protostar, right? The Protostar model, I got it from Skyler, right? He obtained it for me. So he get, and a lot of other ships, right? He provided to Star Nexus, right? And I have given Skyler credit, so it's not a problem of me giving credit for people, right? Furthermore, right? But the Protostar, for example, right? When we acquired first version of the Protostar, it was built by me, right? The Protostar was lacking some detail, and the fandom reached out and they searched through the internet to see if they get it, right? For the right screen display and stuff, right? So it always is, as much as I am doing the heavy work in Star Nexus, It was always a community with the fans to acquire stuff for Star Nexus, right? So let's continue reading, right? The conflict escalated over several months in accusations, retaliation, harassment, and involvement of minors. That information, that whole sentence right there, is not factual, right? Not truthful. And the only person harassing anybody was Apollo. Because I did not harass Apollo. I did not abuse Apollo. I did not disrespect Apollo. The only time I ever did anything to Apollo is after he did something and I retaliate towards it, right? He came in my group, in my Discord group for the game, and caused a ruckus over the Enterprise D model, right? Like he coming and telling the fans, Cameron didn't make this model would have changed anything for Star Nexus, right? And when he realized it did not, right? And as much as people want to say it's not evidence, timelines don't cheat. Timelines also comes together very nicely when you can clearly see their sabotage, right? Anyway, let's go continue. A third party, right, KV, a minor, became entangled in the dispute after Cameron recruited him into a coordinated retaliation campaign. KV eventually turned against Cameron after recognizing the lack of evidence supporting Cameron's claims. There's not lack of evidence, enough evidence needed, and he got it right. So there's not lack of evidence. If an AI could read the evidence I provided and stated that it is, and every other human being that doesn't have a conflict of interest, then it's not that hard to see what actually transpired on January 1st, 2026, right? So let's continue, right? Second, this I believe is second document, right? Part 1. Let's continue read this, right? What Apollo claims, right? Apollo alleged that Cameron is using 3D models made by David Matulis in his game Star Nexus, falsely claimed to have made it himself. Right? Apollo asked Cameron either to credit the original creator or remove the model, right? And even so, right? Now this is, right? This part, the first sentence say what he said here is factual, right? I did at first and then I did not. Then I tell him I did not, right? Because I was actually, to be honest, was shocked at the whole retaliation against the Enterprise D model, right? So I later on told him I did not, which was the same day, right? Before he entered my Discord group, he told me that on side, not side, what's the word? One-sided, right? In our Discord chat. So original creator, right? So I did remove the model, and oh boy, he was not, Apollo was not satisfied with it, right? He insisted I should give credit, right? Now here's where he says, right? And this is a problem. Apollo lies is not consistent to be truthful, right? Because here it is, he states in this document, right? Either you gave me an ultimatum, either I credit the original creator, remove the models, right? I reach out to Skylar, who provided me with a lot of models, right? And they are way more higher detail, no imperfection, very well made, right? So it was looking well. It was looking well and good, right? So I reached out to Skylar. Again, he see the whole commotion Apollo did in the Star Nexus group. And he said, you know what, Cameron? Because I already agreed to remove the model until we find a substitute for the model, right? And we got a new model, right? Provided by Skylar, right? So he said, now what's the evidence shows, right? He said theft consciously providing multiple independent pieces. The theft constantly proven and multiple independent pieces of evidence, right? Number one, Cameron owns File Explorer, shown model as root node enterprise. That information here is not factual. I do not have a Explorer file saying Sketchfab model, right? As the root model, right? So as I actually got that from Sketchfab because me and KV was trying to, because I forgot. I actually did but forgot where I got the model from. But the Sketchfab model, there is some differences compared to how the model is, right? And then we pinpoint where it was on DeviantArt the model actually came from, right? So it was not Sketchfab, right? And was imported, right? So that information from being from Sketchfab is false information, right? If it was from Sketchfab, I would not reach out to David on DeviantArt, right? So identical mesh defects, right? Apollo demonstrated that it has a broken window vertices present in David model. The original model were present in Cameron versions. These are a unique artifacts from the original model process that could not occur independently. Apollo also identified that Cameron's model reproduced David's specific inconsistencies, including along with defective shape from the actual Star Trek source material. If Cameron had modeled the ship himself, he used references if image would have not have recreated another artistic specific mistake, right? David Martellus credit policy that especially requires, right? So there's the whole stuff about that, right? So there's all the whole model stuff, right? So bam. Alright, now let's see next one. Hold on. Let me see. Hang on, guys. Let me get the next sheet. Right, Cameron refused to give credit. Right. Here's a contradictory part. Right. He says I refuse to give him. Right. I reached out to David, and there was no response, so I removed the model. Right. No big deal. Right. No big deal. Right. He stated that the reason that he did not obtain the model directly from David, so he doesn't owe him credit. That is not true. I did not say so. Apollo correctly identified shares obtaining of something, right? Well, it is true and it's not true what Apollo says here, right? Because at the time I didn't pay attention to who I was getting the model from. My fan was in Japan. I tried to get the model as soon as possible, right? All I learned from this situation is now is one, Go to models, go to get the models that people not really looking for much credit for. They're just doing it for fun. As fans, as all of we are fans. And I'm not the first one to do it, right? Or two, I'm now in a 3D modeler group on Discord. I can easily acquire ships from them now to get it, right? So next, let's read the next thing now. All right, the dislike bombing accusations. What did Cameron claim? Cameron accused Apollo of over-exaggerated and coordinated dislike bombing campaign against Star Nexus, pointed to the following evidence. Apollo messaged him at approximately 1 a.m. warning that his game was being disliked, right? Now, the thing is about that, right? About his lie, right? Is that the fact that on the Roblox website, you cannot see dislikes, a mass amount of dislikes coming up unless you refresh the page, right? The page has to refresh to update the dislike stats, right? So for you to come 1 a.m. in the morning and tell me that my game is being disliked bombed, it raises a suspicion. Because the only way you're going to know that, right? On that day was, right? On that day it had to be about almost 17 dislikes, 8 dislikes, somewhere around there. So you telling me, Mr. Apollo, right? As we see in this document here, right? You are telling me, right, that you refresh your page so many times that you know that dislikes are going up. And that's so logical to a lot of people reading who read the same said document, right? And this is why I said, this is what me and KV also had a falling out with. You understand? Because he was there when Apollo sent this message, because I messaged him, right? And he was there and he saw it. You cannot know when a game is dislike bombing unless you constantly unless you are one, the developer of the game, or two, as a player. And last time I checked, Apollo is not the developer for Star Nexus. I am. Cameron Murray is the developer for Star Nexus, right? So I will know if the game is being disliked bombed. Apollo in no way, no how, unless refreshing the page numerous times, will know that the game was being disliked bombed, right? So that was saying there's constant evidence that people are missing to show that Apollo had a role in this whole dislike bombing instance of what happened to Star Nexus on the whole, right? Because he is always there at the crime scene while the crime is happening, right? I would understand if you wait a few days. You are telling me, you message me 1 a.m. in the morning while this situation is currently happening. Because when you told me about it, I went, being the developer could observe, I went and saw the ratings going down. You as a player cannot see that unless you refresh the page countless times. And this is the evidence I am trying to show you guys every time. Right? There is no way in hell you could see as a player. You have to either be the developer or the code developer to see the game getting dislike bomb, to see the rating going down, right? I myself, when I use an alt account right now to build back the game stats, because right now the game is offline, I take the game offline because people is clearly don't want to have that Star Trek They want to hold the statue kingdom. So I gave them the space. You understand? You're fighting me now. You want to destroy my game. You want my game go away. And I will show you guys how I know it. You want to go it away. Because when I made the announcement, I had a little mole. Because the same way you guys had mole in my group, I have moles in your group. Right? Just the same way. Right? I'll show you guys very soon how Mr. Apollo started be happy. You understand? And sarcastically sarcastically play like, oh no, the game is gone. Right? But he was happy that Star Nexus was gone. Right? So let's continue reading, right? So that right there is a red flag right there. 1 a.m. warning. Right? As I already explained to you guys, you cannot know that as a player. If Apollo was playing Star Nexus, he's not the developer and he's not a co-developer of Star Nexus. So he would not be aware of the game being dislike bomb, right? Because he will not have access to live stats as I will have access to live stats concerning the game, right? Right? Number 2, he says, the only way Cameron could know this was happening was if he was watching the game page, which Cameron agreed meant Apollo was the attacker. You see, this is how he contradicts himself again, right? The only way I can know if you're watching the game page, right? Now, I don't need the game page to know this. I can literally go into, I have access to the game stats in the developer panel on the Roblox website, right? I can access that. Matter of fact, let me show you guys. Hang on. Show you guys. Hang on. Roblox, right? As you guys can see, analytics. Okay, second analytics panel. Right, as you guys can see, right here it is right here. I have a live view status of all functioning games, right? All my games, right? It earnings, everything, right? As you guys can see, constant. Look how long since it's been updated, right? To tell me who joined the game and whatnot, right? Daily active users and stuff, right? So I have these stats, right? Apollo, not being the developer of the game, will not have these stats. So there's no way in how he could tell the game was dislike bomb, right? So I ain't bothering to read the rest of this whole trash. Hang on, no wait. You know what? Let me continue because I'm seeing some interesting part here. Right? So he says I have to watch the game page, right? And I have, being the developer, I can see live view, right? So continue. Star Nexus rating dropping from 88 as low as 67 over the following week. Now it was that again, he lied. It wasn't over a following week. It happened on the same time period at 1 a.m. Apollo said it was being attacked, right? That happened instantly. This wasn't over the following week. This was the same day around the same time, right? Cameron made the accusation via a @everyone ping in his Discord, naming Apollo directly for the present before presenting any evidence, right? Dude, the fact that you know and you're not the developer of Star Nexus, you know the game was there dislike and you don't have access to the game live ratings. That is the evidence. That is evidence right there. That you were at the crime scene while the crime was happening, right? Right? Circumstantial timing. is not proof. Apollo, right? Certain time, certain timing. So it says like, so a bank, let me draw this to reference, right? A bank is getting robbed, right? The police is called. One person is at the crime scene, right? Who you think the police gonna lock up? Right? You are at the crime scene. Understand this? Apollo is at the crime scene while the crime is happening. The only one at the crime scene at that time. Notice in this letter, he has not named anybody else who was in the game and anything, right? Now, if he's watching the game page, right? If he says he's watching the game page, then oh, what he was watching the game page for? And that's something he feels to answer. What were you doing at 1 a.m. watching Stanix's page? Right? You didn't say nothing that's showing that you were playing the game. You never say you was playing the game. You never say you were whatnot, right? But anyway, Apollo having the page open, a consistent monitoring belonging to someone. No, wait. Apollo, let me read this over, I get distracted, right? Apollo having the game page open is a consistent with monitoring belonging to someone he was in an active dispute with. It does not require him to be the attacker. You see what I'm saying, guys, right? He says Apollo has the game page open in a consistent monitoring. What are you doing? Me and you are having a dispute. What are you doing monitoring StarNexus? What are you monitoring StarNexus? And this is what I'm saying. You are at the crime scene while the crime is happening. There is no one else at that crime scene but you while the crime is happening. What are you what are you literally doing there? You did not. We are showing this. I'm reading this and I'm looking to see what exactly what he was doing there, because you had nothing good from the very start to say anything good about StarNexus, right? You had zero stuff to say about StarNexus. What are you doing watching StarNexus? What are you monitoring StarNexus paid for? And say that is not evidence to say that you had anything to do with the attacks. Then who did it? And that is the question I keep asking. Who did it? Right? He then says attackers do not typically alert their victims mid-attack. Apollo specifically warning Cameron that the game will happen, the dislike will happening, right? You see what I'm saying? Were happening, right? Not happening, happening, right? So it hasn't happened, and as I said from the beginning, when I got the alert, the ratings was dropping. And look what it says from the top, right? It says how it was happening over a weekly time, right? So you see how he contradicts himself constantly, and this is what happens when someone is a liar, right? They constantly contradict the statement on evidence that is present towards them to try to hide what they did, right? So it says inconsistency with the perpetrator, right? Cameron refused the definite test. Apollo repeatedly asked Cameron to temporarily active the game so Apollo could screenshot the dislike counter, right? You see what I mean? Unactive the game, right? So you are aware that this is happening. How could you be aware? Right? How could you be aware? Right? Even so, the person is in the game, it's only one player at a time. If you're going to do something like that, right? One player at a time, right? And if you already played the game, and even if I unactive the game, you can still dislike the game. Either way, right? KV point out that attacks happen regardless of drama, right? In a direct message, KV told Cameron it happened almost every time your game open. Drama, open drama with someone or didn't or not. Did you ever consider that maybe someone else was behind all of this? And yes, I have. I have considered, right? But this is the actual evidence showing that Star Nexus was not ever in a dispute with anyone else. The only time it has been in a dispute is with Mr. Apollo, right? Mr. Apollo, the developer for Starship Trek, right? He is the only person that this whole drama starts from over Enterprise D model. He is the only person, right? Continuing now. Cameron used an AI chatbot, manufactured corporate collaboration. He fed his version of the events to Microsoft Copilot and Google Gemini, then present their output as independent analysts. Right? This is a circular reason of LLMS reflecting the frame given them and do not consistent with evidence. One, both AI read the screenshots, right? Screenshots of Apollo messages. It saw the time frame from this code. It also read every single evidence provided towards it. It did not show no biasness. Alright? There's a live recording where the AI said, no, this doesn't provide enough evidence. Right? I give him more data and more screenshots. And then it gave a determinant that yes, there is some sabotage done to the game, and it looked at the time frame of when the sabotage happened and who was messaging at that time. And it also, as a normal human being who is independent and not biased, will see that the fact that yes, he could be a prime suspect in the sabotage of Star Nexus. The analytics Cameron shared does not prove what he claims. The analytics prove that on January 1st, a large amount of new players joined the game. The analytics also prove those new set of players has played the game under 5 minutes, right? Which is not normal for a normal played player, right? A normal player would play, right? Because, and that is the same thing the AI point out. It watched the normal data where a normal recurring player will come and play the game, right? And the number of play time and the number of players come in does not seem to be normal to the normal game stats the game normally has. And after those attacks, and the next thing is, after those attacks, those new player accounts dropped, right? Back to how it used to be normally, right? But as seen again, many people are not the developer, right? I'm the only developer for Star Nexus, so I will only understand these stats. I will only know the history of the game. I will know all the analytic data and whatnot, right? Others don't know this, so they will believe every single word that is coming out of Apollo's mouth. I am the only one can access data, and all who have joined, all who have been there, well, now I implemented a script that prints out all who have joined. If at a time you should have go back and make sure and print that script, so I can see now all the accounts that they use to sabotage Star Nexus, right? Let's go on to page 3, right? What Cameron did. Cameron accused Apollo without evidence. There's enough evidence, and I'm saying it right here in front of you guys, right? Cameron engaged in document retaliation campaign, right? 1. He created over 30 robust alt accounts with a repetitive name pattern to dislike bomb Apollo game. Of course I did that, because you sabotaged my game. He admitted this publicly on his YouTube page. You see, I don't do shit and not say I do it, right? I don't do that, right? I don't hide, I don't lie, right? I am always straightforward on what I am doing, right? I publicly stated that I attacked the hell, and that happened in April. January was the set of attacks. I had Apollo. Let me tell you guys, right, how this attack goes on, right? Apollo, after attacking Star Nexus, decide now, well, here what? Ban Cameron from Starship Trek and ban all accounts that are not 2 months old. So I had to wait 2 months, right, to finally fire back my attack. Now, let me ask you guys something, right? And a lot of people, let's say, if you're not biased, you can see what really happened to Star Nexus and how Apollo is responsible, right? Because if you had nothing to do about this, right, and it's just rumors, why would you go as far to add so many defenses upon your game when I have never said I'm going to attack your game? You have your mode in my group, so there was no way I mentioned him. Remember when I post a lot of stuff I'm about to do and concerning the issue with Star Nexus and Starship Trek, right? In the game Discord, right? There's no discussion of what you did and me retaliating against you on that day, right? So why in hell did you add so much defenses on your game, right? It seems like someone was preparing themselves for something after they know what they did. It's obvious, right? Hang on, let me see where's the recording, right? He recruited KV as a minor to campaign. 1, I never recruited KV. After seeing this is why I said KV is a traitor, because he was there and he did side with me and said, well, let's go and deal with Apollo, right? KV himself made accounts also to go and fight back Apollo. KV was also banned by Apollo, right? So let's continue, right? KV confirmed in DMs. I remember the day we made alter accounts, you see? We made our alter accounts, right? Cameron provides screenshots of their coordination, including messages. Yep, I wanted to make him jump to 70, right? All that happened in, let's see how he feels, you see? Let's see how he feels, right? So yes, I did not recruit Mr. KV. Mr. KV volunteered and we decided to go against him, right? So here it is now. He's saying I manipulate KV, right? He used manipulative tactic to include scare tactic to obscure KV precipitation. I did not. Cameron, a 26-year-old adult, pressure a minor into helping him operate these accounts. That right there is false information. I never needed KV, right? And two, if I needed to recruit, there's over 10 people in the Discord, over 20 people in the Discord, over 50 people was in the Discord at the time, right? We could have used all of them to retaliate, right? He then narrative a campaign in the Star Trek terms calling it Section 31. The Black Ops division in the show, from the show, right? Yes, we did. I did call it Section 31 because Section 31 is where Starfleet does stuff. You understand? Deal with threat that does not go normal with Starfleet regulations. That's what Section 31 is, right? As everyone announcing detail to the entire operation individual creating. Yes, I did state it in the group that we are doing a Section 31. I did not tell them. I did not tell them what was going on and what was about to happen, right? The only one that knew was KV, and KV volunteered, right? Because at the time, KV was the only one I could have trust, right? He circumstances Apollo IP bands. Schuckman, right? IP ban to continue accessing Apollo game with his alt account. I didn't really use that IP ban. Roblox had a gateway where even though you join for a few seconds, you could still dislike, right? That was a loophole. Me and KV found out. Okay? He told KV, "You forced my hand," when KV questioned his evidence, framing his retaliation against question his evidence, framing his retaliation against a minor. No, that is not true. The fact is, when I found out that KV took the side and also went and leaked information, when at the time me and Apollo was having a peace treaty for the fans, so the fans could be happy to play Starship Trek and Star Nexus, KV found it upon himself to go and leak information, which I had made it clear not to, because it would have ended up in another drama situation, which me and the fans who play both Starship Trek and Star Nexus, we both do not want that, right? So what KV did was putting us back in an issue where we no longer want to be in. It's in the past, let it be in the past. He had no right going and telling Apollo these things, right? I don't know what his reason was, but he had no right to go and tell him that, right? We dealt with it, there were peace. There's no need for you to go back and point the gun and say, let's get back in the drama, right? It wasn't worthy, right? And doing so, Apollo, KV had the level rank in my game as a moderator. I removed his moderator access, right? Because I told him, you have broken my trust and you have compromised all of us, even the fans. Because even my fans of Star Nexus who enjoy Starship Trek also was banned from Starship Trek by Apollo. So when we had the peace treaty, they were able to gain back access to the game, right? So what KV did compromised all of us, right? Because we knew by past action of Apollo, we knew what Apollo going to do with that information now that KV gives him. And so said, so done. Now we are here now reading out document with false accusations, right? And some information that KV had no right. It wasn't up to you to go and drop that information. You were wrong. And I cannot have you as my moderator of my Discord when you do something like this. The drama was done. We were dealt with. Everything was at peace, right? We did not need you to go and cause more drama, right? The irony, right? Now we read it. The irony. Cameron accused Apollo of doing exactly what Cameron himself then did, right? Now I accuse Apollo first, right? Not Apollo accused me after, right? Apollo attacks my game first. So in retaliation, I attack back his game. As the message has said, yeah, let him see how I feel now. Right? Because I work very hard on my game and it's not fair for someone who I treated respectfully and treated very nicely to come and attack my game. So I return back the favor, right? So let's continue. Page 4, right? Cameron conducts the minor, right? This point is most serious in the dispute, right? Cameron recruited KV into his alt account retaliation. That is false information. Number 2, when KV began questioning Cameron evidence and eventually sided with Apollo, right? He based on fact. Cameron publicly attacked KV. No, I did not. I publicly stated of KV a betrayal and that we are no longer friends because on YouTube we have made countless videos concerning Star Nexus and other stuff on our YouTube page. It was a partnership with YouTubers because Mr. KV used to be Mr. Vortex Gamer on YouTube who made videos on my game, right? Number 3, Cameron placed a wanted poster of KV inside his Roblox game. Yes, I did. Accusing KV of betraying. Yes, he did. He did betray for refusing to continue precipitation. No, that is not what I made him wanted for. He got that to indicating that not to put it in harassment campaign for betrayal of causing all of us, the fans of Star Nexus and me, into a situation that could have been prevented of today. Apollo attacked Star Nexus. First point, yes, he did. I retaliate. Yes, we did. Were there peace talks after? Yes, there was. Did KV went and leak information to start back drama? Yes, he did. Right? Reason for? Unknown. Right? It was wrong for him to even go and leak that information to start drama again. Right? So continue. Cameron creates auto accounts. Just thinking. No, I did not create that account. To affiliate KV Discord, infiltrate KV Discord. I used another account, but it wasn't that account to do so, right? And the reason for that is because I know the two of them working together and I really want to know why and what they are planning next. Because I want to be prepared for everything they try, right? Because now the two of them working together, I know they're up to nothing good. Now, here's a part where it says my location, right? Which is SAR1, right? Let me ask Google what is my location. Because that's it. This is how these guys are false in these information, right? They can't even know, they can't even, the only thing they get correct is my location. I publicly stated what country I'm from, which is Trinidad and Tobago, right? But hold on. Can you tell me what is my location right now?
Okay. You're currently at 166 Centino Street in San Fernando, Trinidad and Tobago.
You see? That's my location. So again, to show that they are not capable of telling the right truth, they even get my address wrong. Right? And publicly, them themselves even went publicly telling people my address, which is wrong address, thank God. Right? So this is how far they are going. Right? Even trying to put my address in information and even publicly. Right? When confronted Cameron, he denied himself while failing basic identification tests. Right? I'm not even one to feel like because all the players tried the same thing and failed the test. Right? They were trying really hard to block out everybody that I know, everybody that plays Star Nexus out of that group. So clearly they're saying something, and soon we go find out. Soon you guys will find out, because in that group, in that said group, when the announcement that Star Nexus was being shut down, right? I'll hint to you guys, right? Being shut down, they were, yeah, Star Nexus getting shut down. Yeah, they were happy, especially Mr. Apollo, right? Cameron publicly betrayed KV on YouTube. I betrayed KV. KV went behind my back and leaked information, causing more drama. But I betrayed him. I never betrayed that dude. He betrayed me. He betrayed my trust. He betrayed my respect. Right? For being ungrateful. Betrayed KV for being on YouTube, for being ungrateful. For the likes Cameron had given KV game, he used alt accounts as to artificially infiltrate a minor game matrix created to debate the minor's own. Right? 1. Seeing that Mr. KV went on his way to ban me from his game, why the hell would I have my alt accounts still supporting your game? If you are banning me from your game that I also help with you with working on, and I also help you to get the likes, why do you think I will leave them likes there? No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. I remove my likes. So you can't, because at the end of the day, you can screw me over and at the same time want to benefit. It don't work that way. Right? You screw me over, you're going to feel it. I don't care what age is. Cameron also appeared to have shown screenshot of the conversation with a separate 16-year-old who he recruited and manipulated. Who is a separate 16-year-old? When they're stating this stuff, they must show screenshots of these evidence, right? Anyway, continue. A 26-year-old adult recruited a minor into a coordinated harassment campaign to use the scare tactics. I never used scare tactics on that dude. I never used ever use scare tactics on that dude. Right? But anyhow, it's the same to repeat over and over. So let's continue to page 5. No, it's page 3 on page 4, page 5, conduct towards minor, page 5. And this is the part I want to get into, because I'm gonna oh boy, this is the part I want to get into. Dispute. Cameron border behavioral pattern. The dispute with Apollo is an associate incidents. Evidence shows that Cameron engaged in the same pattern across multiple contexts, right? homophobia. I don't have homophobia because I'll be homophobic to my aunt-in-laws, my cousins, right? And the list go on. I have a lot of family members who are part of the LGBTQ, right? So how the heck would I be homophobic, right? But anyhow, Apollo is is a queer and has a boyfriend. Good for letting us know that should be private information because clearly I didn't need to know that, but now I know. Cameron mute Apollo from his Discord server specifically for discussing LGBTQ related topics. One, it is inappropriate because it is a Discord for Star Nexus. Star Nexus is a Roblox game. There's no reason for you to be discussing anything about sexuality in a Discord group meant for a game, and also could have minors that we are not aware of. Even yourself have stated that KV is a minor, right? Now you know very well they are minors in that group. What are you doing talking about sexuality and stuff in that group? That's the reason why. And it was a whole, let me explain that, right? It was a whole debate, right? I don't have a problem with LGBTQ people. What I have a problem is what is appropriate. The appropriate place and time where you have these discussions. And the discussions was getting completely out of hand, right? So let me continue, right? Let me read what he says. Discussion LGBT related topics. Cameron deleted the LGBT related topic media from his server. And rightly so. Because you have no right where there is also minors in this group, right? A group was designed for a game, not homophobe, not sexual content, not other stuff, right? This is about games. So all of our discussion is about the game alone. It is not about your sexual preferences, right? And I made it clear. It is very inappropriate, right? So let me see, right? Cameron attempts to frame Apollo outside filtration, which was obvious trolling, as inappropriate sexuality. See, as you can see, he's stating right here. Inappropriate sexuality discussion should not be held in a group for a Discord game. I mean, not a Discord game, a Roblox game. Right? In the group, weaponizing homophobic framing against queer users, right? Upon being on mute, Apollo was immediately threatened with another mute for saying bye twice. Apollo was spamming. And look, he said, right, which Cameron classified as spamming. Apollo was heavily spamming in the group, and I banned him again for next week. Well, not ban him, mute him, right? And he reached a point of banning him. Right? Cameron community behavior was removed from Project Artemis Discord, right? Server for repeatedly causing a drama in the server. Zed told Cameron directly that his behavior was caused Zed, who being consistent defender through the despite eventually. So, and the thing is about that, right? The thing about this, what we're reading here, right, is that the fact that there was stuff said in Project Artemis group, which was originally the Star Trek exploration group, right? And it was clearly stated there was stuff saying about Star Nexus. I, being the developer, stand in that conversation and set the record straight, right? I was banned by Z from the group because of that, right? I did not cause the drama. I never bring drama. There was stuff untruth said about Star Nexus. There was disrespect about Star Nexus, and rightly so, as being the developer, I stand for my game. You know, says manipulation tactics. Cameron permanently shut down, permanently shut down Star Nexus twice. Both times reopened it within the same day, because players asked me to reopen it, right? So this wasn't no sympathy, looking for sympathy or anything, right? The players asked, you know what, calm, just open it back, right? Don't worry about it. We are here, don't worry about it, right? Carmel maintain YouTube campaign. Carmel maintain a YouTube channel with multiple videos dedicated to attacking Apollo and KV. Right? KV only get a few videos. Maybe one or two. Right? Delete, dismiss, and comments. Right? On the videos. I have not deleted anything. He used a AI generated summary of his own narrative as evidence. Summary? Really? Right? In these videos, April 2026, he continues to produce content and send screenshots to people in DMs despite Apollo having disengaged months ago. That is a lie. That is a lie, and 100 times lie. Cameron publicly threatened to sue Apollo and his family for claiming to have lawyers, right? Because, and here is the league, and he can say what he wants. I threatened to legally take actions because he is going around and telling people that I am a child groomer, I am a child molester, and this stuff without proper evidence also, right? He have no evidence stating that anything inappropriate was done with me and Mr. KV. I have full evidence of the Discord chat showing that we only discussion were concerning the game, both of us game, both KV game and both my game, Star Nexus, right? Apollo makes this claim, and rightly so, I should be taking legal actions, right? And so let's continue further on. Six. Right, continue. Come on. Right? Apollo conducts. Apollo is not without fault. Apollo is not without fault. The following legitimate criticism is substantial. One. Right, so this is saying Apollo, right? Substance showing Apollo engaged in extensive mockery through the despite, including fake marriages, proposal, Kardashian, team humor, right? And deliberate provocative response, while they are clearly not serious, right? Now, you see, it is stated that he was, again, extensively mockery and things. So he was literally rage baiting, right through. Rage baiting, right? Number two, the friend list kicked system. Apollo implemented a system in Starship Trek that automatically kicks players who had Cameron on their Roblox friend list, right? With the message, right? With the message calling Cameron a known liar manipulator who has attempted to attack this game. This pursued on involved third parties to choose side, while defense is it is concretive in fact, in effect, and is most legitimate criticism of Apollo behavior, right? Public naming. Apollo placed a message in his game describing Cameron's behavior and named him and Star Nexus. This is an indirect response to Cameron and earlier everyone public accusation, but it's still a form of public shaming. 4. A tone. Apollo was frequently considering mocking, condescending and mocking in ways that, while often accurate, were not conductive and likely worsened Cameron's reaction. What Apollo did right. He substantially correct evidence backing that the model theft accusation was proven consistently multiple independent pieces of evidence. He proposed a fair test, the repeat of offer to Cameron temporarily unactive his game to verify the dislike counter, right? And that was the number 2 with meet unactive my game. It does not allow Apollo to even watch the dislike counter or access anything. Apollo cannot access that data, right? 3. He eventually disagreed. After months of futile argument, Apollo stopped engaging with Cameron directly, right? So did I. His games speak of for itself. Apollo demonstrated genuine development skills, including recreating a feature claims feature Cameron claim feature takes approximately 5 hours. His game rating continued to climb even after Cameron dislike bombing. The reason why that keep happening is because I stopped dislike bombing his game. I could have continued, but I stopped because when I am said I am doing peace, I stay at it, right? I don't continue stuff, right? I stay true to my will, right? He identified the threat to KV. Apollo was amongst the first to name Cameron behavior towards KV as a predatory when Cameron alt account was in KV servers. No, it was not. I was infiltrating, and I did not use a Justin account as they claim. I was infiltrating to find out whether or not what they have in plan and what they have in store to be going on with, right? And the same way, I did not ban them from Star Nexus. They have full access to come back into Star Nexus, right? But I'll show you guys what they were hiding and the discussions they were having, right? Cameron critiques a comment Apollo made in his own game chat as evidence of hostile. In context, Apollo was responding to a player pursuing him to add features that would have made his game sensible. Another game resembled another game called Starship Trek. Apollo told the player he wanted his game to be original and not a ripoff of Star Trek Exploration. That is not true. That is not 100% true, right? Right? He said, Apollo said, listen, let me read this whole thing, right? Ripoff of Star Trek Exploration and direct them to Cameron's game Star Nexus, as it was more similar to what player wanted, right? One, Star Nexus was never and was not going to be a Star Trek Exploration ripoff, and that is why I took huge defense of, because there's no way you can compare Star Trek Exploration and Star Nexus together, right? What I offer in Star Nexus has never been done in Star Trek Exploration, including stuff like the Spore Drive, which the developer, who I know and speak to, right, up to this day, refused to act the Spore Drive because he wasn't a fan of the Discovery, right? So he made his ship normal without the Spore Drive. So for the fact for Apollo to compare both games and say that it's a ripoff, say Star Nexus is a ripoff of Star Trek Exploration, to me that is an insult, right? As was similar to what player wanted. This was functionally recommendation of Cameron game not to attack on it a neutral third party. Zeshit, who was the president, confirmed this reading. Cameron nonetheless frame it as an insult. Of course it will be an insult, because you consider my game as being a report for Star Trek Exploration. That is an insult, because my game is not a ripoff. Alright, continue page 6. Right, KV rules. Any of you, do I read that? Right, camera. Alright, let's read this. Let's skip the top piece right here. Verdict: Cameron Morris in the wrong on substantive issue dispute. In this dispute, he stole a model and lied about it. Yes, I will take that L for it, right? I never lied about its origins though. I did say I did not really stole it. I used the model without giving credits, right? You could use that as you want, right? But I never lied about the model origins, right? He refused to give credit. Apollo gave me an ultimatum, which was give credit or replace the model. I did so. So he publicly accused, and the thing is, right, that whole situation actually came out in a good way for me, because Apollo making drama about it. I always wanted to replace the model in the first place. I was not pleased how the model was looking because of those defections, right, in the windows. Every model of ship in my game has to look good quality, because I'm very keen on making sure that things look at best, right? You can see that even Gamer Man can tell you guys that Cameron Murray is very keen on the finest detail, right? So I wanted to get rid of that model for years, and Apollo coming and making drama about it just give me a gateway to replace it. So I took that, right? He manufactured false collaboration through the AI. That is false. I never manufactured false collaboration through AI. Right? He created 30 alt accounts. Not really. I did not create 30 alt accounts to retaliate against Apollo game. Wasn't 30 accounts, but I did retaliate. And keyword, retaliate. Right? You can only retaliate to something if something was done to you, right? He recruited a miner. No, I did not recruit a miner. He used manipulative tactics. No, I did not use manipulative tactics. Right? He publicly, speaking of manipulative tactics, if it's anybody to use manipulative tactics, is Mr. Apollo, who tell people that if you want to be unbanned from my game, you have to unfriend Cameron. Right? That is manipulative tactics. Right? He publicly attacked a miner. No, I did not. He stalked a miner across platform. No, I did not. He used homophobic moderation tactics. No, I did not. I find it was inappropriate to be talking those kind of conversations. Right? No offense to the LGBTQ community. But it's very inappropriate to talk those kind of things. That was not in a group that was not designed for those kind of conversations. If it was our other group, surely we'll have that discussion, right? But it was inappropriate to talk those kind of things in a group for a game that has players from all ages, including minors, which Apollo has stated before, right? He fake permanently shut down the game. No, I did not fake permanently shut down the game. I shut down the game. Players asked for it to be reopened. Actually, players begged me to reopen it. And he continued to produce attack content months after other party has disengaged. That is not true. Other party continue to do what they do, because as a person, when you shoot at me, I am definitely going to shoot after you. Right? I'm not gonna start attack you off of my head for no reason. Right? So if them wasn't doing it, the friends were doing it. And I was responding to the claims were made about my name and clearing the air, which I am rightfully to do. I find nothing wrong in doing so. Apollo is not blameless. His trolling was provocative. His friendless kick system, you see? So when you guys go around and say I use manipulative tactics to control minors, I'm not the one who manipulative to people. Apollo did, because he gave them ultimatum. Either you stop being friends with Cameron, or you'll be banned from my game. Apollo did that. So when we talking about who manipulative, look at Apollo actions and then come and say who manipulative to who, right? System was concretive towards on both parties, and his tone was frequently more cutting than necessary. These are the legitimate conduct and criticism. Continue reading. The core accusation started this conflict that Cameron stole model and lied about it. It's true. Right? Yes, I will admit that is true, and I have not denied it. Right? Cameron counter accusation, Apollo orchestrated this light attack, is unproven. That is not true. There is enough evidence. Those who don't have biasness will see that it is and understand the stats as well, right? The most serious concern is not who was right about the Roblox game rating. It is the documented pattern of a 26-year-old adult recruiting and concrete public attack stalking minor. That statement is not true, never been true, and will never ever be true, right? Main reason I even wanted to join KV account is to see what Apollo is about to do, because I know Apollo will pull in KV strings. Is the main reason why he also is not a moderator of my group, because now that you providing information to Apollo, clearly Apollo have control of you. I don't know what Apollo gave you, right? But clearly Apollo controls you, that you went behind my back and gave him information and caused this drama in the first place. That is factual. That is not no lie. I can show you a screenshot of our conversation, and you guys go back in videos and see that what KV did and what he admitted he did, right? Cameron is the party primarily responsible for this conflict in escalation. That is not true. I was not the primary suspect in this whole scenario. The primary suspect was Apollo, who went out his way, look amongst 60 plus ships, choose one, made a whole drama about it, and whatnot. So Apollo is the primary responsible for this whole entire conflict, right? And he has not issued an apology for the whole situation, and he continues to drop accusations, and his friends also continue to drop accusations. This is the reason why I also said I wanted to take legal actions towards this, right? But I believe this is the last of the documents. Yes, it is. No, wait, there's one more. Is this it? Oh yeah, this is it, right? So yeah, this is the whole document here, and I don't know who typed up this document, but I see it says forward to Cameron Murray, right? But I don't know who typed up it, but after reading all this whole document, it doesn't seem to be Apollo fully written this. I don't know who was the person that written this document, but whoever it is, you don't have the whole entire story, or some of the story is not 100% truth, right? So you guys need to get this. But Skylar just forwarded this to me, and it said Cameron Murray, but reading this doesn't sound like fully Apollo, right? It sounds like someone who is influenced by Apollo, but other than that, no, right? But yeah, this is basically the whole documentation, and this is me responding to it. Sorry about the background noise and stuff, right? I'm currently not home, right? And I'm spending time with my grandmother. So this is basically it, right, guys? So have a good time, enjoy yourself. Star Nexus is currently done. We're working on stuff, getting stuff done. Oh wait, speaking of that, I forgot. My bad. I forgot to show you guys. I forgot to show you guys this. When I announced Star Nexus going down, watch this. Watch this, right? He cheated. Hear what Apollo says, right? He is a cry. These are what these people then was saying in KV group, right? He's a crybaby. Didn't Cameron get his DP charge? Does Cam want his bottle to be blood wine? He probably can't handle his liquor. This is the reason why Mr. KV and Apollo does not want me in the group. Look what they are saying. One, let's continue on now. Let's go down. Look when I make the announcement that Star Nexus being shut down, right? What your Apollo did, right? When someone forwarded to him, someone forwarded to him, why made an announcement in another group that Star Nexus is being shut down. Watch Apollo. I know, LOL. I mean, oh, this is so sad. You see? You see? Then this person who also was talking about turning my bottle to blood wine, right? Here's what this person is saying now. Damn, bro, he's not a Klingon then. Give up. Right? Let me continue. Look at the things that they've been saying, right? He is a crybaby, right? We read that part already. Here was the part they say, right? Little Cam can't have blood wine. He is still only 1 month old, only 2 months old, Klingon, right? He can't have blood wine, right? So they constant trolling behind us, right? And that's the thing. They do not want me or any of my friends in that group because they are saying horrible things about me, right? And whatnot. This is all chats from that group that someone managed to get in and been sending into me, right? Look at all this. All this here, right? My battery, as you guys can see, is dying. It just came up on the screen, so I can read out all that for you guys. But as you guys can see, so now you understand, right? So when I say I'm going out my way and I'm going after KFE, who's a minor, no kind of thing, they won't come out and tell you what are the nasty things they are trying to hide they are saying about me. They won't do that, right? But you guys know the truth now, and now you guys are seeing everything happening. And who don't want to see the truth, you can't handle the truth, and you are biased and you are very prejudiced towards the whole situation. And whatever you guys is getting, I hope it continues to make you guys happy. But from now on, this is the last I'll be talking about this whole situation, right? And my focus now is to rebuild what Star Nexus had with its ratings and to make it much more better and improve. We have discussion that there is a lag issue. I'm working on fixing that lag issue. Also, I also managed to build the USS Athena from Star Trek Academy, Starfleet Academy as well, because I couldn't sit down and wait to get that model. So I went out my way and start making the Athena, right? And I can show you guys a quick screenshots of those. Hang on, I post it in this group here. Here's the 3D group I'm in also. We exchange 3D models, right? Here's the Athena, as you guys can see. Here's the Athena I create. What is before I make some modifications. Later I will make a video proper where I add some textures and stuff for you guys to see, right? But yeah, this is about it, guys. We are focusing on new things. We're not continuing this drama anymore further. I'm just dealing with the clean set in the document, and that is about it, right? Right, guys? So you guys keep good, be good, do good, and keep an eye out for more good contents. Enough with this drama, so you guys are gonna see new content coming out with the game. You'll be seeing some improvement we are working on. I'm thinking of adding more stuff to the map as well, but we're also trying our best to monitor the lag issue, and I'm trying to expand more on the map itself, right? So you guys look out for more coming. Soon I will make an announcement, right? But for the meanwhile, we're focusing on building back up the game rating, right? So you guys keep good, keep blessed, and I'm out.